Good morning,
Okay,
everybody.
happy Tuesday. Here we are on another Tuesday, and you know, are you on the stage, Matt? I just want to make sure you're on
I
there
think
as well. I only see myself.
I only see you as well, so I'm guessing I'm not on
Uh,
stage.
I better figure something out. Layout. There we go. I bet you this is
Hi.
going to fix it. All right, that's a whole lot better. Matt's in the screen now.
All
So we
right.
had today's topic all set up a couple days ago, and well, that kind of got blown up yesterday now, didn't it? You've been predicting something for a while,
Yep.
and it is out there in the wild. So I'll let you explain a bit about this. It's huge, huge.
Yep. ChatGPT just dropped the Agentic Commerce Protocol. Now, if I understand it right, the Agentic Commerce Protocol is supposed to be open for everybody to use. They want people to adapt this kind of standard. So they're playing a little bit of open source there, but they dropped it, and so right now I think it's like Etsy and Stripe and a few other ones
Mm-hmm.
have they can do some payment purchases on that way. So, but basically, people. So what it means for the end consumer is you will be able to just chat with ChatGPT on your phone, on your computer, talk to it, type to
Mm-hmm.
it, whatever you want, and it'll be able to go out and make the purchases on your behalf. And so that whole
Well, not quite. I mean, the full purchase, or do the full browsing to present you options for you to make the purchase.
browsing to make the purchase, basically a lot of the UI is handled on their site. There is a way to do the payment on the website,
Mm.
based on some of the flows I've seen here. So you could send them back to your original website there. But you can get everything else started, and I'm fairly certain within a short order you will never have to leave ChatGPT.
Mm.
Basically, that's So they're rolling this out still. Again, this came out yesterday, and I've just gone nuts on it. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I can't wait to wire it in. Basically, I'm going to throw the CTA in there earlier today. If anybody has a project where you'd like to sell your product
Yes.
on ChatGPT directly, or I mean, I'm sure it's going to be about 5 minutes. I mean, Google released AP2, which is Agent Payment Protocol,
Mm.
just 2 weeks ago on the 16th. So if you want to get wired in with that stuff, I would love to work with you. I am studying up to become as best of the expert as possible on this particular topic because I believe it's going to
So,
change the way everything works.
is this Google AI or versus Open AI? Is this another Betamax versus VHS moment?
I would say this is going into production now.
Mm.
It's ChatGPT is gaining space, so unless ChatGPT gets derailed soon, then probably not. It's gonna be more like your flavor of choice, like Coke versus Pepsi, probably. I don't
Mm.
think ChatGPT is going to leave, but there's going to be people that like Claude,
Mm.
call Claude Diet Dr. Pepper or something like that. So, but again, the fact that they're, releasing this openly means that I'm assuming we're going to see other AI assistant
Mm-hmm.
providers adapt the standard. So right now,
Yep.
there's a little bit agent to agent versus this, or agent payment protocol. There is a slight chance that those two could offset each other, but the fact that this one's already widely in use and that one was kind of more of a proposed standard tells me that ChatGPT's kind of got the leg up on Google right now for that. I'm not going to count Google out by any means,
Oh no. I
but
mean, so I mean, what's the biggest analogy to what this is going to be? And the one that I came up with is, the only thing that you can kind of do this on now is if you go to Google Shopping,
Mhm.
right? And you say, okay, show me shoes. But the big difference is Google, when you're on shopping, doesn't take any of your history into account. And you've got a great example of buying shoes that you've talked about, and you could probably link to that video somewhere in here about when you talk about that. But I mean, this is Google Shopping plus personal assistant in your phone, knowing your preferences.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, um, where does this go? I mean, who is this most important for? Who should be paying attention? I mean, e-commerce players obviously
E-
are going to be
I
hit
was
huge by this.
Yep, e-commerce. Everybody's complaining that search engine optimization isn't what it used to be. Google's no
Mm.
longer linking to their websites. That's because people aren't going to go to your websites. They are going to
Mm.
use their agentic tool of choice to browse 1,000 websites, and you want to be at the top of that list. It doesn't matter. Does it really matter if they come to your website as long as the check clears? you
Yeah.
know,
Right.
it's so people have to wrap their mind around that. And I mean, that's that. I about an hour after I found this thing, I already was reaching out to my client saying, "Hey, you know, I want this on your radar." So, but yeah, e-commerce is the first one that comes to mind. I could see it being used for digitized products as well, but
Mm,
they've got to focus on shipping and logistics in there. So it's designed with physical products in mind. So a lot of people that sell physical products are going to want to keep this in there. Now, subscription, maybe a Dropbox, something like that, like a, that might work on it. But like I'm thinking like subscription SaaSes or something like that. You're not going to probably yet go out
mm,
there and shop for a new SaaS or something like that. So if you're, I'm trying to think of like digital games. That's an interesting one.
mm,
I wonder, I could see Steam releasing this. I could say, hey, what is the newest, what games are on sale this week that fit my taste?
mm.
So I guess, and that one, yeah, I could see digital products working real well with it. Um,
I could also see, maybe not short term, but longer term, service providers fitting in here. For example,
yeah.
right before this, you passed your phone off because you have a plumber coming. I mean,
Hmm.
I could say I need a plumber to come to my house at 10:30 to fix this problem. Who has availability?
Yeah,
Instead of having
absolutely.
to call 20 different plumbing companies.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it'd be interesting if they had like a Yelp API or what's the one, the TaskRabbit. Yeah. I mean, I
Or,
absolutely, I
or
could see
Angie's
those.
List once upon a time. I don't know if they still exist.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I mean, this kind of, so the original topic for this video is going to be agentic economy and talking
Mm,
about bidding and things like that. But that'll be interesting to have agents bid on a job, and have,
mm,
that'd be nice. I want to get, I want to know what plumber can be here the fastest because my house is flooding. I want to know which one's the best
mm,
price, and so on and so forth. And so I could start a bid of some type, bidding war for the, people. The same thing goes too with this, the contrary to that. Say I'm a plumber
mm.
and someone's going to pay me $100 to be there today, but the other guy's like, listen, my house is being damaged, I'll give you $500 if you
Get here
bump the
now.
other person. Yeah, if you take my call over this other call. So that could be some interesting stuff that comes from this. Is that, the AI would need to understand some logistics about how much a job
Mm,
takes and all that stuff. But they could, I mean, you could overblock it. I mean, if it's enough money, you could say, listen, I'll give you the whole day, and
mm.
and
Well,
factor
this
in
is this
travel
is
time.
just about making sure that the plumber's endpoint knows enough about the plumber's preferences, right? Like
Yeah.
plumber can put into their rules that says if anybody has an emergency, the price is this. If they want me here immediately, give them the option.
Yeah, and so this brings me to another interesting thing. I wouldn't want my AI booking, same way I wouldn't want my AI to buy shoes that I haven't actually
Mm,
approved. I wouldn't want it booking a job for me that I haven't actually like said, no, this isn't Tahiti. I'm in Wisconsin. This isn't going to work.
mm,
So there's the cool thing is that this builds in a level of human in the loop still. So
sure.
the AI is not just going out there and buying stuff willy nilly. It's shopping for you. It's suggesting things to you and using the protocols here. This is how ChatGPT doesn't ask the AI, "Hey, do you think you should buy this?" No, this is the product. Yeah, human. Yes, no, and the human approves at the end. It's like, so
So it's
it
it's more
just
it's more of a hyper focused search agent with customized filters in that context, then that just
yeah.
give you the end options.
Yep. So there's a product feed. So that's where it gets all the product information. And then after that, there's a checkout flow. So it can add stuff to the cart. It can get everything ready for you. It probably can put in your shipping address and all that stuff there.
Hmm.
And then you at the end click approve. So instead of filling all that forms 10 times over, it saves you a lot of headaches there. But you
Hmm.
still, ideally, depending on the implementation, again, this stuff came out yesterday, so I'm
Hmm.
working with it. The human would still have that final say. Okay, everything looks right. That is my real shipping address. Oh, I'm okay with paying, $200 for shipping for a pair of 400-pound, you know,
Dumbbells,
whatever dumbbells. Sure, there you go. Um,
tires.
no, yeah, yeah.
So from a technology perspective, if you have a current e-commerce website, what is it going to take for somebody to open their platform to something like this, to play in this sandbox?
It looks very simple. It's a very simple JSON schema for the most part. So it doesn't matter what language your site's written in. None of that stuff matters. I'm sure they're going to be releasing frameworks and
Every
packages.
language possible.
Exactly. But yeah, you expose a JSON endpoint to some extent. It gives you, the product info. You take that, you create a checkout session, a cart session, which
Mm,
is very similar to what humans already do. But now we have a very unified way of passing that back and forth. Some people might have been using cookies before, might have been using sessions, whatever. Now you'll just use this very specific information that tells ChatGPT what their payment or what their browsing session was, and then you check out. And as far as I can tell, that they support a number of different payments. So it's not like they're limited just to one payment provider. From what I'm seeing, again, you can link back to your website and have them finish and complete the payment stuff on your website. Of course, you'll probably be able to use their Stripe fast lane or whatever Stripe's fast payment is. PayPal's got to be about 10 seconds behind this if they're not already
I think
ahead of it.
I think PayPal was tightly coupled with the Google announcement from earlier as well.
There you go. So I mean, it seems to be flexible enough. They don't really, they're not trying to be like, hey, you have to use our payment system.
So is this essentially going to be a thin layer that sits across an existing API, or can it talk directly to an API?
It will talk to endpoints. You can call them an API, I suppose, but you'll expose and register an endpoint with these guys, and you'll say, this is basically what we sell. And so when a query comes in saying, hey, I want to buy new shoes, well, it knows matchshoesstore.com /agents will return a JSON structure. So go query it and say, what's available today? What do you got on sale? And so ChatGPT will just do that, and other agents as well, whenever they're trying to search for things. So
if I've got a shoe store today, that shoe store has been crawled by Google. So if I go to Google Shopping and I type in shoes, my product will be somewhere in there potentially. This is the next evolution of that. This is, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the same as saying, I don't need a website because I don't care about Google 10 years ago.
Yeah, if you don't have this, it'd be like not being mobilely optimized. Yeah, it'd be like, we don't want Google picking us up. Like, you're going to want to have your products be discovered by as many people as possible so you can make the biggest profit within ethical means. But the thing is, right now, Google crawls human readable web pages, which are made of HTML, and they've got 5,000 lines of code, and it's not streamlined.
95% of which is irrelevant to a computer,
to an AI, to a bot, an LLM. And in which case, this just streamlines that whole process. It takes out all the extra noise, which makes the web page look very nice for a human, and it makes it so it's super streamlined, so these bots can process these requests extremely fast and efficiently. And it's doing it so eloquently. I'm sure once I get in there and code, I'm going to be like, okay, there's some rough edges here somewhere.
There's some ugly bits on the inside, but you can smooth them. That's your job. That's your expertise. Smooth the rough edges.
Oh yeah. We'll get that's exactly that's what we do. So I cannot wait to wire one of these in.
It'd be interesting. I'm curious to find out who's going to be the first people out there with these available, because anybody who's curious about how this works is going to be buying stuff from them. Even if it's widgets from IKEA or something like that. But just to understand what the experience is like is going to be extremely interesting. Do you know if anybody is actually shipping or selling, or this is just yesterday, so it's too hot off the presses to even do anything?
I'm pretty sure I saw Etsy in there.
Well, that was in the demo. The demo video, perhaps we could link to it, is brilliantly simple. It explains exactly what this does with almost 0 words.
Okay. They also just reading closer. But with over 1 million Spotify merchants coming soon. So Spotify's going to have this technology 10 seconds from now.
Spotify. What's a
Shopify? Shopify. Sorry, Shopify.
Okay.
Shopify. My apologies.
That makes all the sense in the world.
Shopify merchants.
I mean, Shopify's huge, right? We know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be curious to know what percentage of the major e-commerce players out there, I mean, not obviously the tier one, Adidas, Nikes, but how many people are actually on Spotify or Shopify, not Shopify.
Yeah. So co-developed this with Stripe. So again, Stripe's, going to be.
Stripe's playing the long game because they can be the payment integration platform. If you have a Stripe account and the merchant has a Stripe account, you can even
bypass, what's it called?
Whatever their checkout is, whatever
the credit card, the main credit card one, the one U.S. shut Russia off from a while ago, that one. Wasn't much talking, but yeah. So no, Stripe. I thought they were being relatively quiet, and I was just like, why are they not? And then this drops, and I'm like, I see
They
what
were
they're
busy.
doing.
They were going to make a splash.
So
They
you've got
they
pretty much one of the biggest payment providers on the internet, especially to anything new, fast tech.
small business, small
Yeah,
business size business. Yep.
yeah. And then you've got this giant AI juggernaut. I mean, it's a match made in heaven. It's
Mm.
it's
And
a brilliant
Shopify,
business
and
model.
arguably the biggest e-commerce platform in the world.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd be curious to know the numbers of Spotify versus something like WooCommerce. I'd be really curious to know that.
yeah. That's a good question. Yeah. So. I mean, I'm sure they've got to be working on this. I mean, that's something you've talked about. We should release a WordPress plugin for payment
Huh.
type things like that. But they're doing it if But if
I
you're
found several GitHub repos. Nothing looked particularly mature, but there
Mhm.
is several people have taken several swings at this. I don't know which one's going to go anywhere, but like I said, there's a couple plugins out there. I just don't know how good they are. I haven't tried them.
Yeah, well, if you're not running on Shopify, don't, or if you're not running on WooCommerce or one of these that looks like it's going to integrate with it, don't stress on it. They've got open applications to become a merchant right now.
Mm,
So I could see them playing favorites, which wouldn't be great, but
mm,
that's kind of how the game's played. But if you're in a niche market, just be the first. You don't
mm.
have to compete against. I'm trying to
Everybody,
think.
everybody.
Yeah, Amazon. You can really own your niche market there.
Mm,
So it is doable. The fact that they're open sourcing this instant checkout, ACP, it's
mm.
called Agentic Commerce Protocol, is huge for you. So just you're going to have to be competitive. It's just going to be slightly different the way people interact with you. So, but
So,
there will be first mover advantage. That's what I'm saying. Like,
mhm.
imagine being the first person to sell books on the internet. Not the worst
speak
move.
Speaking of them, where's their play in this? I haven't. I mean, I haven't seen them release anything. I heard they were in the Google initiative, but there's got to be something coming in the next days.
I've got theories though. Amazon, if you look at where they're making most of their money, it's not in shipping retail product as much as it is. I mean, they're making a ton of money on AWS, but if you look
Mm,
at Amazon right now, paid to promote product is an
mm.
interesting thing. And so with the advent of
You're talking from the merchant perspective, the
yeah,
merchant paying within the
sponsored
platform. Okay.
to
Yep.
promote your own product and get it at the top of that list. So they're making, I don't know what the exact numbers are, but they're making a significant amount of money
Lots.
from that. Now, I was saying, the second we allow our agentic software in there, I could put a prerogative for my agent to filter out anything sponsored to promote it. I just want to see things straight
Mm,
up. So that could cut into their sponsorship business model,
mm.
which I don't know. Maybe that's making more money than their physical goods business model. It's got to be a tricky business doing physical goods right now. So
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons I think they've been a bit slow to adapt. The same reason there isn't a Facebook MCP is because Facebook doesn't want your AI to
Yep.
filter out stuff. Same reason you and I can't. I was trying to do proactive engagement on various forums, LinkedIn and stuff like that, where I'd have an AI search for problems I can solve so I can genuinely go help these people. And LinkedIn's like, the hell with you.
Mm,
No, you got to sit there and stare at our ads all day to find these
yep.
people.
And we
So,
know, like, 50 to 80% of at least my social feeds, LinkedIn, Facebook, etc., are sponsored content in some way. Right.
yeah.
So you're saying they're slow to adapt because they're going to lose those eyeballs. They're going to lose those. I mean, not even clicks. You pay for eyeballs there.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. I mean, we've talked about this as well. On the other side of this thing is there's going to be Google is going to probably slap ads in Gemini at some point.
Hmm.
Meta, I can't believe they wouldn't release something that's got ads on it. So if you control the interface and the LLM and then all the content you're going to feed to it, and then you put ads in after the LLM kind of does its magic, then you still get eyeballs. So they're
Mm,
probably still working on that one right now. Because otherwise, if you don't control that and you just let people's LLMs go through and filter out all the
mm.
ads you shove in their faces, then your business model's screwed. The value
Yep.
drops to zero to the advertisers, and you're just doomed. So it's
So pay to play, pay to promote. So you advertise on Google, you advertise on Facebook, you pay for premium placement in Amazon. Where does that sort of model appear within this? Because some way people are going to find a way to promote businesses are going to find a way to promote their own self-interests.
Right. Well, that's an interesting thing. So with that feed I was talking about, the product feed, I want to really dive into this one right now, because basically, if you want to hide something, put it on page 2 of Google. So they're going to be getting all this information. But so the agents, though, ChatGPT agents, are going to look at 5 different feeds. So Google, it's one feed. Google's like, hey, we want this search term to be at the top of this, because that's, people are paying us for that. ChatGPT is going to be pulling from dozens of feeds,
dozens or
of
hundreds
shoe
of
stores,
sources.
hundreds of shoe stores. Okay, you're going to search Amazon for shoes. You're going to search Joe's Shoes for shoes. You're going to search, et cetera, et cetera.
Nike, Adidas, DSW, etc.
Yeah. So now, so what the way Joe's Shoe ranks it, that's going to factor in a little bit, but then it also gets reorganized on the other side once it gets into ChatGPT. And now ChatGPT will probably prioritize certain feeds over other feeds, based on, so ChatGPT might say, hey, pay to be one of our premium feeds,
Yes,
and you'll be in the top
exacto.
5 feeds we search, and then everybody else is buried on page 2, which is interesting. But if the LLM, can't find something to sell to its user and the sponsored feeds, then eventually it'll start going to the more regular feeds. So that's going to be some
there's a whole new flavor of SEO juice coming out of this that we don't even know what it looks like yet.
Yeah, and basically, I think showing up on the homepage of Google isn't going to be what it used to be. That's my theory as time goes on, unless Google makes some big changes, and they don't want to lose that. But the times they are changing.
Well, I mean, they're just going to have to diversify their product offerings, and they will find a way to monetize it.
They'll spy whoever figures it out. I'm fairly certain on that.
Well, then. Speaking of buying and all that, like, why don't you give us a sign off on who we should be talking to? Who should be calling you right now to set up an appointment to have a conversation on the future of what this looks like?
Do you currently get paid from selling things on the internet, or do you use search engine traffic to make sales? I'd love to talk to you. If you rely on the internet to have your clients discover your product and you sell it, via a credit card processor, or, pretty much anything but cash.
There are probably situations where payments are important, but just product discovery in general is going to be changed as well. Even if you're not selling something, is this
product discovery? Absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
That's the email I led with yesterday when I just told my clients we got to be on this. So with that said, I would love to talk to you about this. I haven't gone into incredible technical detail today, but if you're more on the technical side and you want a workshop on this, leave a comment and I'll build a workshop around this. If you're less on the technical side and you just want us to come in and advise you on how to build this best, or just get it built, again, reach out to us. We're going to we'll have a landing page up for this thing. Well, I was going to say by the time this goes live, but we're doing a live stream. So the page exists, but the images aren't quite there.
But we'll drop that in the comments as well, so everybody can follow up on that. And if the images change, so be it. But
reach out to us, hello@schematical.com, or just go to schematical.com and find us, message us on LinkedIn, whatever. We're going to have a lot of conversations around this. I want to be with the people that are first to action on this and are ahead of the game here. We'll look back at this in 12 months and be like, how on earth, were people not on this? We're going to be on.
No, we want to be deep in this in the next several months, because this is not going away anytime soon.
Absolutely. All right.
Anything else you want to say before we say goodbye on this beautiful Tuesday?
No, I'm eager to get building right now. Let's get to it. All right.
All right, everybody. Well, great chat, Matt. We'll be back next Tuesday. Maybe we'll talk about something else. And anybody out there that runs any sort of e-commerce, let's have a quick jam session to see how this is going to impact your business. I'd say in the future, but starting yesterday into the future.
That's Dominic DeMarco and Matt Lee. So schematical.com, schematical.com. Thanks.
All right. Ciao all.